sure if I'm ready to announce this quite yet, but I think I'm going to write a book. There has been a lot going on in just the way the world has been changing that I think I've just been feeling the need to write it all down and record it. I've also just been thinking about writing a book for a very long time, something akin to a Fahrenheit 451 or like a 1984. And if you've been following this channel, that probably does not come as a shock, considering, most of the books that I've been reviewing are books that kind of fall within that category or just something similar, really. So, how has this process worked and how has it helped me? As far as like starting, it definitely took a long time to like actually decide to sit down and write it. There was just a lot of talking about it and no real direction for the story itself. And even now, there's not exactly a story planned. I'm kind of just letting the muse work through me, and whatever pops up is sort of what I'm allowing into the book. And then obviously once I'm further along and finished with it, I'll be going back and editing and probably adding a lot more, even just from looking at it over again. It's going to be a lot of new ideas and perspectives that come up just from finishing, right? Like the idea, I guess, isn't really to write a book, but also in part it's to become the type of person who would write a book, and taking that time and commitment and energy into something that you have a lot of passion for is been really fulfilling and inspiring and potentially missing for a lot of people, right? Somebody without hobby who feels lost, feels like they're floating, doesn't have like this long-term plan or goal with like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, if you will. And like beyond that, this book is just been really fun. I think when I started, I never thought I was going to get into like a creative writing thing, even though I was like thinking about it. And then at some point I just committed to it, and committing to it more and more frequently, even, right? Like trying to get the discipline to like sit down every day and actually write more and more, and like build upon a story and like create a world that the hope would be for people to get invested into, for people to criticize and analyze, to hopefully relate to the protagonist and really feel what the character within this novel is going to be feeling. And I would love to even hear some comments about like what kind of, I guess, dystopian things are you noticing? Like what kind of themes would you expect from a potentially 21st century version of this dystopian classic literature style? Obviously is also, hopefully it's with a new twist, and hopefully those who do take the time to sit down and read it are going to be like, whoa, like, is this really how it is? And maybe it's not 100% of what you might be expecting, or it might not be the reflection you were engaging with, like, at the start as compared to like the end. As with most of these books, they are made to be provocative. They are made to be polarizing. A lot of these are messages to, just make you continuously question things, right? And try to have a continuous dialogue of what can we do against this, greater struggle that societies often face, when all of us are pursuing, the same, peace, love, and happiness, or life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, as as the American philosophy would try to persuade you to push. This book has been difficult to write, even, like actually sitting down and getting the content out has been like a whole separate thing in itself. The ability to sort through the different ideas that come up, knowing like what is worth putting in, what's not worth putting in, how far down like a specific idea and pathway can you go before you potentially change your mind and maybe it doesn't fit with the story, or can you put it later, and having like full freedom and artistic creativity in such a manner is really unique. Right, it is like painting, right? You're painting with words in this case, and that has been super cool, especially for somebody who doesn't paint a lot. And even doing like a more fiction style novel, I've been like getting more imaginative as far as being able to like see scenes and record scenes within my head, and like trying to find the best words to like describe the images that I'm seeing is like a really cool and creative endeavor. And I'm learning a lot more words, and hopefully speaking more fluently and clearly and effectively, and poetically, hopefully, as well. So hopefully it's something that is not just a book, but a work of art on top of that. And just learning about the process of what it takes to publish and release, and researching and discovering new ideas, and reading different books along the way just to like broaden my perspective and get a better knowledge base, so that when I do continue down this road, which hopefully, within myself, I've invested enough time to where I'm not going to back out, and I will see this through to the end and publish it and just get it out there, even if it doesn't get picked up, right? Like, this is just for me. This is just a passionate thing, and it would just be cool to just have something out there that is like, hey, I like committed like a lot of time and effort to hopefully healthily and constructively create this commentary about where we are at the moment and where we are heading. Right, very similar to the novels that this book is inspired off of. It really is hopefully a reflection of what is happening, right? As much as these stories were harrowing warnings of the future, they were also, right, Brave New World, 1984, Fahrenheit 451, and those are just the fiction ones. I mean, there's plenty of like just philosophy, nonfiction, that would like be supplemental to these types of books that are like these people saw what was just happening in the world around them at the time, as much as, they were scared of what was to come. And, I think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be like something over the top or something that will necessarily gain a lot of traction, but I'm definitely hoping to have somebody pick it up and maybe just kind of realize, like, hey, the isolation and the aloneness that we have been like manufactured into is something that we can also escape from, right? Like, these are things that are, these walls that are put up are not real. Like, they're something that we can overcome, interpersonally and extra personally. If I had to guess, it would probably, I don't know, maybe be like within a year that this book would come out. I feel as though I'm only like a tenth of the way through. Um, I want to reach like a certain threshold of content, but I also want to like make sure that it is quality, not quantity. So there's definitely a balance of trying to and struggling to like put in content and think of ideas and get this train rolling, but also not just throwing in junk and fluff and filling out garbage that the reader doesn't need. It's supposed to be a novel, right? Like, you are supposed to discover this world by yourself. I'm just supposed to give you just enough to really imagine it and to immerse yourselves into the story and not hold your hand through the whole thing. Um, which has also been really fun. It is teaching me, and I'm right. I'm teaching myself, I guess. The book's teaching me as well, which is funny. It really is both. Um, the experience of seriously taking on a project like this is, in my opinion, worth doing and worth seeing to the end. So maybe more update videos in the future once I have a better grasp on where this whole thing is headed. I've really just dove in right now, dove in head first, and hoping for the best, hoping to, right, allow that muse to take this story in a direction that I can be really just proud of and happy with for just doing in the first place. So maybe that's the lesson of the day. I hope you're as excited as I am. That's all for now. I'm Wild Will. Please subscribe to A New Lens. We'll see you next week, and leave a comment down below of what do you want to see in this book? What kind of things are relevant in today's world, and perhaps even more relevant in the future, that would be found within a 1984 style novel? Let me know. And I'll see you next week. Peace.